Good evening and welcome to your Monday edition of Business Today with me, Erica Nawinda. Now tonight we are focusing on Namibia's landmark MSME Capacity Building Programme, a collaborative initiative driven by Namibia Investment and Finance Academy, NIFA, CEFE International and GIZ Namibia under the ProBATS, that is second framework. Now, having engaged over 300 MSMEs and trained more than 40 financial service providers nationwide, the program culminated in a high-level inclusive finance breakfast dialogue that is this morning here in the capital. Now, the dialogue centered that is on tailoring financial products to match the realities of Namibian MSMEs, fostering innovation, inclusivity and market relevance in finance, or rather financial services. Now, tonight's discussion will explore the program's impact, insight gained, and next steps for scaling inclusive finance to empower youth-led informal and rural enterprises, that is specifically, and that is the MSMEs, that is in general. Pardon me. I am now joined, that is in studio, by Arinze Okafor, that is the Chief Executive Officer for the Namibia Investment and Finance Academy, that is of NIFA. Also joining him is Kurt Nieradtka. I hope I pronounced it right. He is from GIZ as well as CEFE and NIFA team leader, or rather he is the team leader that is of CEFE and NIFA. Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to Business Today.
Good evening, Erica. Thanks for having us.
All right, let me start with Mr. Okafor. Talk to us about this initiative and what actually prompted it for the dialogue to happen this morning, and what are the outcomes of it, and what is the importance of it happening here in Namibia at this time?
No, thank you very much, Erica. So this is a combination of a, let's give it a give or take 6-month program. So it's a bilateral partnership between Namibia and Germany, but then it's implemented by GIZ Namibia, or consortium, and then through a partnership then with CEFE International and ourselves as a local ISLECA NIFA.
Right.
So it really, it's centered on a capacity building program that captures both demand, which is the SMEs themselves, and then the supply side, which is all the financial service providers. So as you mentioned in your introduction, we've been around the country, all 14 regions. The kilos are high. But yeah, we've trained over 300 SMEs, as you've mentioned, and in the capital, then we also got the opportunity to train over 40 financial service providers across commercial banks, fund managers, insurers, fintechs, micro lenders, and even, you know, some of your regulators as well. Yeah.
All right. Now, you did speak a little bit of this initiative as being, or rather building a bridge between that is the SMEs and the financial service providers. Perhaps just explain to us in depth about this concept.
No, thanks for the question. So the core of what NIFA does is, or our ethos is bridging theory, you know, with practice, right? So this, and I think I'd like to explain it very practically. So we have MSMEs. What is our reality? Seasonal cash flow. We don't have a balance sheet. We don't have financial statements. Many of us have cash records. We don't have any records at all. No collateral. But then you have the MSMEs on this side, but then you have the financial services providers on this side, who their frameworks require steady cash flows, formalized business, fully collateralized. So it almost as if we are speaking a different language. So how do you then bridge that gap? This is what this training then allowed, where, especially in one of the trainings where we had one with only the financial service providers, we put the same financial service provider in the SME shoe, where they had to now look at their own requirements and also now qualify for a loan. And the session was quite humorous, is because some of the FSPs were laughing, like to say, are these the requirements we are actually asking from our SMEs? And then we had the SMEs be the ones evaluating those loan applications. So it was a very practical session that allowed your financial service providers just to walk a bit of a mile in the SME shoes so that they got an understanding. And that is really what then sort of created that bridge between the SME reality and the financial service providers framework.
Now, Mr. Nieradtka, right? Let me rather call you Kurt.
Sure.
I think that's perfect.
Sure.
Let's talk about, now that the dialogue has happened and it has taken place, what has been CEFE's core contribution, that is, to this nationwide MSME and FSP capacity building initiative?
Thank you for the question. We exist to build capacities. That's what we're about. CEFE is a methodology. It was born decades ago within the GIZ, was emancipated, took on its own life, continued its development, where we're using action learning principles for adult learning. So adult learning is maybe a little bit of a misnomer because we target specifically in many of our programs youth. And there's a reason for that as well, not only economically, the demographic dividend, we need jobs, where are we going to have those created? The economy is begging for this. But in terms of the social change that accompanies the evolution of an entrepreneurial mindset, there's different schools of thought that either you're born with it or you're not, either you are or you're not, or can you learn it? And what we've found, what we like to emphasize, is that the methodology itself is applicable to many different circumstances, many different sectors. The learning cycle, basically, the power of the methodology is when, if you're simply sitting in a lecture and passively absorbing, trying to absorb information, you have a certain level of captivity of that information that gets internalized. If you experience something, and especially where you have your own aha effect, your adrenaline goes, your synapses are behaving differently, that sticks. There's a lot more absorption comprehension. So in working especially with youth entrepreneurs, there's links to TVET as well, catch them early, where engineering these type of aha effects, that is the contribution to the social change that allows then the entrepreneurs to evolve at their own pace, on their own path. So it's not a one-shot deal that, okay, we're going to do this for 2 days and now you're done and you go to the bank. No, it's a journey, and everyone's journey is different. And what we're here to do is to support. We bring this technology we've learned from our successes, we've learned from our mistakes. The program that we've just put in place now for the past 5 months in all 14 regions, we made mistakes too. And I think my biggest takeaway is that we underestimated the demand. And so we're set up budget-wise and logistics and everything else to attend, let's say, 20, 22 participants per session in all the regions.
Right.
We had 60, 100. And so those who were left out on this cycle, they'll have their opportunity in the future. There is more coming.
Right.
And those who were participating, I'm hoping that they got a little bit of a flavor and that they perceive that what's coming down the road, we're just a little grain of sand. And there's a lot of good stuff coming. So.
Right. Let's now shift our focus to the future. What are the commitments of hope that you have, or rather the outcomes also of this initiative when it comes to generating amongst, that is, the banks, insurers, and other ecosystem leaders?
So the approach that we use has been classically over years been applied to the MSME side. So that's our demand side. It is just as powerful on the supply side. So if we're working with bank officers, loan officers, credit committees, your product development teams, we want to engineer those aha effects is what we're looking to do. Complete innovation, NIFA had an absolute lead role in that with the design lab that was, when was it, about a month?
21st, 22nd October.
Okay, so recently, where innovation is being driven in a format that you typically won't find in a corporate setting. So it kind of frees the shackles, and it's that blend of the supply side and demand side that's what we're looking forward to continue supporting. There will be there are more programs in the pipeline.
Okay.
And we're looking forward to keeping the methodology applied. It's not a one-shot deal, so it continuously evolves. It has to be adjusted to each region, has its own characteristics. Even language barriers or challenges need to be addressed. The characteristics of the entrepreneurs in each region, the research that resulted from being in the field, that's fresh data. And so to be able to take that fresh data and present it to the FSPs, it's yours. And so the market opportunity is huge. And it's been ignored. It's not just Namibia. It's in many places where we concentrate on the already formalized, your larger urban areas. That's highly competitive, and yet we're ignoring this pipeline of a whole stream of future client business to anchor within the FSPs. So it's a very rich playing field.
Right.
And we look forward to just continue to being the reliable partner. Our consortium partner, NIFA, we will continue to work together. GIZ has, I'll let them speak for themselves on their occasion, but there are hot cross buns in the oven, so the oven's on, there's things coming.
All right, very interesting indeed. Mr. Okafor, just talk to us about how the perspectives or behaviors of financial service providers actually change, that is through their training and through the journey of this great initiative.
No, thank you, Erica. I think the one thing I'll say is that there's been a mindset shift. I think, in the past, or we like to say talk is cheap. But I've seen it across most of the financial service providers. I think a few of them, I think Standard Bank, I think even today, I think Nedbank made a few commitments. But throughout the session, we really saw a pragmatic approach to saying, how do we create impact within our framework? So I'd really say there's been a huge mindset shift. A simple thing like, we learned as well that banks are starting to look at other things other than collateral. Erica, how frequently do you pay your City of Windhoek, your municipal bill, your DSTV? So you see sometimes if we don't pay our Edgar's account, it can count against us. But I think financial service providers are trying to look at those things as an assessment of character. So you hear this term of back the jockey. They're trying to understand who is Erica, so that you can sort of look at Erica and her patterns to determine, is she someone to provide financing to, other than collateral? I think that's the biggest shift. And I think once financial service providers commit to that, as Kurt mentioned, I think the Bank of Namibia had a recent informality report. It's so profound that we thought the informal sector only contributed 12%. It's 24%, Erica. That's huge. That's too huge to ignore. Absolutely,
absolutely. Now, moving on to my next question, what role will NIFA actually play that is moving forward to scale these practical finance solutions, as mentioned earlier, that's now looking at it nationally?
No, thank you very much. And I think probably this is the right platform now to sell ourselves. But, but I think NIFA, for where it is, look, we've got national ambitions, but we really believe in partnerships and ecosystem support. So I think as much as we can pride ourselves in our execution capacity, I don't think we would be able to deliver at this level without strong partners.
True.
I think Standard Bank is one of them. It's a very important partner to us, but also GIZ and CEFE. I think we believe in systems thinking and ecosystem. So I think where we sit, and I think really with our track record, because I come from a background of SME financing, asset management, so that will always be my core. But I think training is my passion. So when you combine that skill set, I have a very good understanding of what corporate wants, but also what the man on the street wants, because we play on both sides. So I think NIFA is really that sweet spot in between private sector and public sector. So that's really where we want to play, because we understand both sides. So we want impact. And we believe with our approach and working with other ecosystem players, just to give you a perspective, even this program, we wouldn't have been able to do it without partnering with other players in the ecosystem, other mentors and coaches. We told them, come with your brand. Let us deliver on the same goal, but obviously within a defined framework. So that's NIFA's vision.
Right. Are there perhaps any final remarks, anything that you felt you left out that you'd like to use the platform to just highlight and actually put out there?
Yeah, looking forward, one takeaway that I have, and it was surprisingly, but felt it very strong, is that there's innovation happening here right now. And of course, we're focused on the Namibian market, but the innovation is going to get copied and it's going to be exported. I guarantee you. I've seen what's been happening in other countries. So we don't oftentimes see something as cutting edge because we're on the edge, so we don't see it. But there's very good work being done here. It's tremendous.
All right. For you, Mr. Okafor, final remarks?
I think I'll speak now for upper youth. You see now the youth fund is now increased to 45. So I think the opportunities are there. So I think we have to grab it with both hands, but be prepared. And I think it's one of the best times, I think, to be young. But I think impact now is very important. And I'm seeing it in every boardroom I sit in now. They're talking about impact. So what a time to be a Namibian youth.
Right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for us here on Business Today, and of course just giving us the insight that is of this great initiative, and we wish you nothing but the best in the future, and of course working with Namibian young people.
Thank you very much, Erica.
Thank you.
All right, Arinze Okafor, the Chief Executive Officer that is for Namibia Investment and Finance Academy, NIFA. Also joining him is Kurt Nieradtka, that is from the GIZ, CEFE and NIFA's team leader, discussing Namibia's landmark MSME Capacity Building Programme, a collaborative initiative that is driven, or rather has driven, that is to engage over 300 MSMEs and trained more than 40 financial service providers, that is nationwide. Right, now that's Business Today. Do stay with us. Well, that also brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Business Today. We thank you so much for making time for us tonight. Also, take note that Business Today will not air this Wednesday and Friday. That is due to the rolling coverage of the region councils and local authorities elections. But for more business and economic news affecting the economy, of course, your pocket, we will be back. That is next week, Monday. Do stay tuned. That is on NBC for more business news. From me, Erica Nawinda, and the rest of the crew here in Studio 2. Good night.